So I just got done with something that I've been planning for a while, which is, I think I talked about it in my last video, the DC, well, not DC, that's where I went to DC. I went on a trip to DC, and I went with my sister and my sister-in-law, and I kind of have been using this trip as I've been pinning a lot of hopes on it, that it would, resolve some of the things that I needed to do, because I needed to apply for a visa to go somewhere, and I was kind of, hoping that it would just, go really smoothly and stuff, because I had already gone up there before, to get it done, and I had everything prepared this time, so I thought. What ended up happening was, it took forever to leave. I wasn't even sure if we were going to leave. I even made a reservation for, a rental car so that I could just go up there on my own, because it needed to be done. I needed to go. I couldn't keep putting it off just because other people weren't ready or weren't able to go with me. So I made a reservation, and I was just I just need you to drop me off. Just take me to where the car is so I can go, because I'm going. And they were all oh, well, can you cancel? We can go together, blah, blah, blah. I'm just I don't care what you do. You can come with me. You can come later. You can do whatever you want. I am going. And if you are not going, I don't know. I'm not canceling my reservation because, you want to go in the morning or something like that. Either we're going tonight, either you're going to take me tonight, or I'm going to drive myself, because I don't have time to be on your schedule anymore. I can't do it. I waited until, she had off. I waited until they both had off. And it took a big chunk of time out of my schedule, and they were all oh, I don't, they're not concerned with the same things I'm concerned with. So it was a pain in the ass. But, eventually they did get their stuff together. We got in the car, and we went up towards DC. And my sister-in-law had thrown a huge hissy fit earlier. The whole reason that, my sister, I was renting a car was because they didn't want to go. She didn't want to go. They didn't want to go together. All this other stuff. They were they didn't like the plans. They were oh, we're supposed to be spending time together. This is our vacation and everything. I'm just okay, cool. This doesn't have to be part of your vacation. I need to go to Richmond, DC, and you said that you would drive me, but if you're not gonna drive me, I'm gonna drive myself. I'm gonna take myself there. And they were no, we wanted to go, blah, blah. So stupid. We want to go, but we don't want to go. We want to, so dumb. They want to go to DC. They like the idea of it or whatever. Me and my sister had a good time when we went on our own. Sorry, I'm being, super lazy about recording this video. And we thought, oh, it would be really, really nice if my sister-in-law was there. So we decided to go to Richmond on the way, because that was my sister-in-law always loves to go to Richmond. I used to live there. I used to go to school there. I know the city pretty well. And I managed to, take them out, and they had a good time, once, and then they've wanted to go back, every single time we go up there, and they always go to, the same places that I showed them, which is flattering, but also kind of annoying. So we went up there, and my sister-in-law was exhausted. She ended up, like, napping in the car while me, my sister, and, like, my sister's, like, ex-coworker went and got drinks at a bar. And then we got late-night pizza. And I stood outside. I bummed a cigarette off this one guy who turned out to be in a band who was touring. And the next night, he was going to be playing in DC, which is where we were going. So I was like, wow, that's pretty awesome. I got his number, and I texted him the next day, and he didn't respond. So, I don't know, he's busy, or maybe they didn't make it up there for DC, or maybe it got canceled, or maybe it was the wrong number. I have no clue. Whatever. Doesn't matter, because we left before that show would have happened, because we didn't have any information on it anyway. And so, after being in Richmond, I want to say like at 2 a.m., we started to head up towards DC again, and I wanted to stay at a rest area, because that's what rest areas are for. You're driving, you're on a long trip, and you're tired, and you can't keep your eyes open, so you pull into a rest area and you take a nap for a couple of hours until you can, like, drive safely, and that's what they're for. So that's what I wanted to do, because they're free and they're easy and they're, like, right there, and that's what they're meant for. But my sister-in-law is kind of bougie. She can't just nap on the side of the road, even in a rest area, even in a designated rest area that's being watched by cops and who knows what. So we were like, oh, we'll go to a state park, because it's the next best thing to, like, having a hotel is having a campsite. So we went to Lake Anna State Park. I've never been there before. I don't really know if I consider this having been there. It's nice. Way more, what's the word? Kind of coastal than I thought it would be. I set up my hammock. They set up a tent. It was just really, really late. I think it must have been like 5 o'clock or maybe even 6. I think it was 6 by the time I fell asleep. And it was a little bit chilly. Just a little bit. I had a blanket with me that made it easy to sleep. And the stupid thing, setting up in the dark, I tie knots in my hammock to, like, keep the strings from tangling, because there's a bunch of strings on it, and I did not undo those knots, so my hammock was like a third the size that it normally is, and I slept in it, and I had a pretty comfortable sleep. So anyway, we got up, I got up at like 9, I want to say, like 9. Yeah, I think I got up around 9, or like 8:45 or something like that. And then, I woke up before 9. And I went to wake up my sister-in-law. My sister was knocked out. And I was like, hey, it's 9, wake up. Like, all creepy. I just, like, creeped over to their tent and, like, looked in, and I was like, hey, wake up. It's 9. Because we still had 2 hours to go before we got into DC. So 9 becomes 11. Wait. Yeah, 10, 11. Yeah, exactly. 2 hours. And then they were like, oh, wait. Wake us up at 9:30. And I was just like, meh, okay, fine, whatever. 9:30. So 9:30 rolls around, I'm like, wake up. And they're like, oh, so tired. I need to change. I need privacy, all this other stuff. My sister-in-law gets up, because she napped the night before, and she was sleeping in the car. My sister was driving, and I was up so that I could keep her awake and kind of, like, make sure that she didn't fall asleep at the wheel. So I was up, and I was falling asleep, and I don't know if she was falling asleep, but, like, she's kind of incredible. for being able to stay awake. Like, as far as, like, driving at night and stuff, I can't do it. I don't know. I'm just, like, super, super tired. And then my sister-in-law, she just slept the entire time. And I'm just kind of annoyed because I stayed up whenever anybody else was driving to make sure that they would stay up. And I talked to them, and I didn't get any rest. And I feel awful about that, for myself. So, we left. So yeah, my sister, she ended up sleeping in. And then we unpacked everything. I think we finished maybe around 11. We left Lake Anna. And then we originally were gonna go park at Franconia, Springfield, because they have day parking there, and then take the metro in, so that we could take the metro around the city and, like, sightsee and stuff. But they didn't want to. They wanted to drive. And I said, parking is dumb in the city. You don't want to drive. And they said, oh, well, I think we do. So, yeah. So we went in, we drove. I went to go get my paperwork done, and they accepted it. And I got pictures taken. That was like $15-16 for my visa. Submitted it. I'm just hemorrhaging money at this point. I'm just absolutely hemorrhaging money, and I got a credit card, and I've been charging things on it, like, way too much money as far as credit cards go. And then, like, the only good thing is that with the minimum payment, I only have to pay back a fraction of it at a time, and hopefully I can, like, delay how long it takes until I have more cash, more inflow of funds in the future. That's the main thing. I'm playing a game here with a credit card company. They'll get their money. They'll get it back. I'm just trying to make sure that, like, I have the time to get it to them. So, after that, we went to Warby Parker, and they tightened my glasses and tried to make it so that they don't slip down my nose anymore. And then they also straightened them because I rolled over on them and made them crooked a little bit, and they fixed my sister's too. My sister-in-law looked around for frames, and she really likes the ones that I have. So I gave her my blessing to get the same glasses if she wants them, because I had them first. So, you know. And then after that, we walked around. I played Pokemon Go a lot. We looked around for bars and stuff, and we went to a couple of different bars, and I had some really strong drinks, really strong and really weird stuff, like whiskey dumplings that have been injected with whiskey. They're just they're shot dumplings. It's like a shot of alcohol in a dumpling. And I thought it was going to be much more dumpling, less shot. Because if you've ever had a soup dumpling, that's honestly how I imagined it would be. I imagined it would be a soup dumpling, but with liquor. And I guess it was. I just prefer soup dumplings like way, 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 way more. And I'm really, really sad that I had that. I'm really sad about the whiskey dumplings. But the mixed drink that I ordered was pretty delicious and super strong, and I got, like, almost, like, turned on that. But, like, I didn't have a lot to eat. I had leftover pizza in the morning from the night before. I bought myself some, like, chocolate-covered pretzels. I had, like, a little thing of, like, a small fries. And, a aloe vera drink, because I was dehydrated from beer the night before. Honestly, I don't know what's going on. My tolerance is super, super, super low for some reason. Like, I had a 5% beer the night before, and it just had like a strong beer taste to it, and I normally don't like beer or whatever, but like, I guess I'm getting more tolerant of it. And then I had some of my sister's like pear cider, and between like one whole can of beer and like maybe a quarter of her pear cider, I was feeling pretty decent. And then that mixed drink. Mixed drink. And then those whiskey dumplings. And then I had oyster for the first time, like a raw oyster for the first time. And that was pretty good. And then I also had another mixed drink with like dill in it, and that was really yummy. Then we went around and we went to the grocery store and got mochi, and then we left and we went to Richmond again because my sister-in-law and my sister really like this place called Food Dog. They were telling me that they like love the noodles there. They like fantasize about them. And so yeah, we went there and I got sake and I got ramen and it was all really good. And then we drove back and I'm super tired. I'm ready to go to sleep. Oh, the main point of this 17 minutes in is that when I was at the pizzeria, I found out that I'm gonna be a student volunteer in Macau, China, which is like the Las Vegas of China, and I have free housing, so free housing. And from Taiwan, it's like $100 to get there, so really cheap. And then also, I heard back from the consulate about my visa, and they said that I was missing documents from the school that's sponsoring me, so I emailed my program manager, and it's like during the day there, so she got in contact with a bunch of other people, like, because my program is being sponsored by, like, the National Ministry of Education, it's being sponsored by the city government, it's being sponsored and, like, held at the local university, so it's pretty legit, and, like, I'm pretty sure they're gonna get the things that they need to, but it looks like instead of waiting for them to mail me my visa and my passport, I'm gonna have to rent a car and go back up to Richmond again on my own to go get it because I can't. I need it like as soon as possible, and that's the only way to guarantee it, so I'm gonna be renting a car anyway, yay, and I'll be going back up to DC on my own. Oh my gosh, which is kind of what I wanted to do before the whole fiasco with my sister. And then tomorrow I'm going to get a consultation for laser hair removal, and I told my sister-in-law about it, and she was super excited. She wants to go too. She said she's gonna drive me, so I need to go to sleep so that I will have time and energy to do that. Okay, I'm really tired right now. I have to go to sleep. Good night.